What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Rambling Garage. Today we're going to be working on the Rambler. We're going to start patching these floors. I kind of outlined what I want to cut. I have some metal down there. Actually, that's not the metal I'm going to use. That's going to be the metal I use for up in the corner of your footwell area. I have some metal in the car that I started kind of sketching out, and I want to, get moving on it. So I'm going to jump right into it. This video might be a little bit longer just because there's quite a bit going on. But let's turn around. I'll show you what I plan on doing, and yeah, let's get to it. All right, so we got seatbelts and everything out there. Interior is gutted, as you saw in the last video. I got our sheet metal there. I'll turn the light on so we can see a little bit better. Here's my plans, at least for this side. I'm going to start by just cutting out these areas. This is pretty solid metal in between here, but I don't know, it just seems like it might be a little easier to replace the whole thing, so I think that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to start by cutting that out. We'll cut that out, and then we're going to make our way over there and do the same thing. I'm going to make some sketches of where I want to cut, and we're going to cut it. That part over there, I might cut that a little wide because I want to make sure I get all the crap out of there. And then, of course, we got a big patch there. So this one's going to be just your basic cut there and up into here. And that one's just going to be a square cut. So I'm going to start with this one, and we'll see how it looks. So that's that. There's our stencil of the new piece. This is some 16 gauge, so it's a little thicker than the factory stuff. What we're going to do is it's a little bigger as well, so it's going to overlap. I don't want to do flush because I got to really put some faith into my welds. So it's going to overlap, and then we're going to kind of use a wooden hammer and some heat to make it kind of match this because I don't want any jagged edges on the bottom or the inside either. So let's get started. I don't know where it's at because my garage, everything's a mess, and I need to take some time and clean it up in here. But I picked this guy up. So just a little M12 angle grinder or cutaway tool. So we're going to use that, and we're going to see how it does cutting those out. So let's stop talking, start working, and see how it does. Well, I forgot I pumped up tires with you can kind of see it over there, the M12 4-amp battery. So it's a little dead, but got our cuts mostly done here. Just gotta wrap that guy up here and around here. Been working on trying to get the angles in here. It's not the easiest thing in the world, so I might take the safety shield thing off or whatever. But almost got one done. Oh, yeah, you can see how nice that metal is. Real solid. So there's that. I can always cut it from the bottom too if I need to. But it'd be easier to use this without the safety shield on. So almost got one done. Then we'll come over here, cut that guy out, and go from there. So guys, I made a little off camera progress, and we did get this rear patch out. Some just pieces of metal hanging everywhere. But all in all, came out pretty clean. Should be an easy patch there. There's a little curvage back here, but that should be easy. I took this out. This is the seat support that runs to the center and then runs to the other side. You guys know we have it. It's pretty rusted over there and actually not attached to the body at all. But this is in good enough shape that we can see how it attaches. It just attaches here and then has like this kind of lip. So that's interesting. These were like cold welded on or something, but there was room for moisture to get under them, obviously. So not the best, but also not terrible. I didn't get all the way up into here as I was anticipating, as you can see by my marks. I don't think I'll need to. I think I just need to patch this so we have a solid piece. There's our screw or our bolt that we need to get out for the seat. The other one, I believe, came out. So that one should be good. So we'll patch this little spot, and then we're just going to patch over it, and we're going to try and retain that if we can. I don't see why we couldn't. I just need to get that bolt out. So that's kind of that. I started chipping away at some of this. We're all solid under here, but I'd like to get this rubber crap off, just to make it so that we can coat things a little more easily. We do have our parking brake line here. I don't have a parking brake in this car. This thing's stiff as can be, and you can see that allowed some moisture to build up down there. So I'm gonna pull that out as well. I don't even know if I need that there because I don't use it. I'm on the fence. I might want it someday, but I know this line is bad, so I might just tear it out, and I don't know. But I do want to get in there and clean up this and patch that where needed. So we're making progress. Should have a next step being, tacking those in, filling that seat bracket, and then we should be able to move on to the other side. So we'll see how things go here. I do need to get some weld-through primer, and want to make sure that we don't invoke any rust moving forward. But we're going to need to make this all the way across. Looks like it has a little indent in it. I just want to try and make that semi-consistent. Shouldn't be too hard to do with a wooden hammer. I don't know where I put that thing, but so that's that. That thing rocks. It does like to eat through that battery as we're doing some of the longer cuts, but that's not too bad. We'll do a couple cuts at a time, and I'm still kind of learning how it works. I did get this thing off. I was using this initially, and it's nice for dust. Obviously, it catches some of that dust, but just gets in the way. So I got that off, and works a little better that way. So all in all, that tool is great. Just kind of eats through the batteries. I'd have 2 of those 4 amps if I was wanting to get this done quickly, but we got time. So I'm gonna keep chipping away and get you guys on the tripod, and we'll keep working on it. All right, guys, I'm exposing myself a little bit, so I'm not gonna get too close, but I got that piece put in place. It is all sorts of boogery, but what really matters to me is that it's solid. So we clean that all up. I could grind it flush and all that crap, but I really don't care. It's going to be under something. I just want it to be solid. Still got to paint it from the bottom. I might throw a couple tacks in on the bottom too. Was having some trouble with the metal just not being the best, but that should all be fine. We're gonna coat it up with some rust reformer wherever I put that can. Just waiting on it to dry. So we get that all coated, and then we can put our patch panel here over. So we got our little hole for the seat to go in there, and I need to bring that out just a little bit wider. So I'm thinking we should be able to get the seat from the bottom. We just weld a nut to it and back it off. It should pull out the other side. I'm hoping I can do the same for that one here. I'm not really sure. I can feel it back there, but there's not a lot of room. So we'll see. Worst case, we got to drill that one out and we just tap it or whatever. I think that one came out, so that's nice. But yeah, we'll get that repaired. And then the other one is, where is it? Right here. That one's going to be a tough one. I don't think I can access the back side of that, so I think I'm going to drill that out and tap it or insert it or something. We'll see. So that's that little progress. I'll get some video of welding these guys in once we get there. All in all, I feel like we're getting a little closer. And just a little more progress. I'm really learning how I haven't done a whole lot of welding in the past, but I am learning how difficult it can be with bad metal to just not destroy that metal. So right here is just, it's kind of hot right now, but it's thin and it's tough. So luckily that's not super structural. I mean, this piece back here is structural. This is just a floor piece. So I'm not gonna worry too much about it. I'm gonna use seam sealer pretty graciously there, and I'm gonna coat everything with some rust converter and just seal it up so it doesn't get worse. But over here we had some better metal, and I got it to bite a little bit. What really matters is it's there, it's solid. Same with this one. I hate to show you guys that. It looks so ugly, but I'm just having a really hard time penetrating this while not completely burning through. So this feels like, you know, as I showed you earlier, it's solid, and that's what matters to me. It's going to be hidden. If this was body work, obviously I'm grinding that all the way down and I'm fixing it. But I think I seal it up and it's okay. I'm going to wait for seam sealer to seal that up as well, just to make sure that everything looks good. You can see there's some like little holes in there and stuff. I'm not going to chase them just because it's so difficult. It is burning through just like that. So really not worth it to me. What's worth it to me is making sure this is solid and we're not getting any like liquid or anything in the car when driving. So we'll get this one sealed up. We've got a long ways to go up and through here. I think I'm going to end this video just on the driver's side here. So we'll get some seam sealer, we'll seal that up, and then we're eventually going to use POR 15, some of the old stuff, not necessarily the newer stuff. We'll get all that taken care of, and we'll go from there. So I feel a little better about that. It's not perfect, but it's better. It's better than it was. So it's almost done cooling down. We'll get some paint on it, and yeah, we'll get some seam sealer and everything. And some generously applied rust reformer, those guys. So from up here, and with the rust reformer, you can't really tell all the booger welds, but you can. So tried to weld a little more back there, but same scenario. The metal just isn't great. So I don't love that, but it is what it is. We're gonna go order up some seam sealer. We'll get that all seam sealed, and then we're gonna put this guy here, and we should be good with this portion of the floor patches. Doing this has me very nervous for over there because that looks awful, and now that's a little better, but then we have that same spot there again. So we'll see. I guess it looks pretty rough. We'll get there though. Yeah, it might not be perfect, but it's going to be better and it's going to be more solid. And a lot of this stuff you're not going to see. My primary concern is that it's going to be solid. Nobody's going to crawl under my car and look for that, and if they do, there's other problems. So that's that. Then we got to work our way up into the footwells too. You can see there. That's all pretty bad. So I might just wire wheel that up and patch over it instead of cutting it out, just because it's hard to get in there. And I really don't want to damage much. We'll see. This guy's got to come out. I'm going to cut this e-brake cable out, and we'll be able to see more. I want to get all this rubber crap out of there too. So I think this is all pretty solid, luckily. Just down in here, maybe not, and up in the corners. So the damn corners in this thing. So we'll get there. We got some work to do yet. Let's go get some seam sealer, and we'll come back. Alright guys, I was sitting inside thinking about this and decided instead of thinking about it, I should probably just come look at it. Now keep in mind, I'm using the flash, so it makes things look a little worse, but it can't be by much. This side is pretty rough. Going back in here, this is surprisingly solid, maybe. Back here goes a little bit up into the rear arch back here. Oh, lost my flash, my phone's dying, but you guys can still see, I think. Goes into the rear arch back here, so we're gonna have to cut something like that out. I'll make sure this is solid. I think it is though, because I'm pushing pretty heavy and it's not breaking through. Then back up here, this whole section is pretty much junk. Over there is similar to right here, and I don't know, I'm thinking I might just seam seal it up, because the way it's kind of attached to the beam here is a little difficult to work with. So I might clean that up, put rust reformer on there, get it real good in all the nooks and crannies, and just seam seal it up. This car doesn't get driven in the rain. Might get caught in it occasionally, but nothing to where something like that's going to go too crazy and kind of prohibiting this thing from staying nice. This area is, it's worse, but I'm going to have to do roughly the same in terms of cuts. I'm just going to go straight up to about here. I'll bring it all around. And on this side, I think I'm going to have to put a little more effort in coming up in here, and then I'll just tack it in. The seat support, same thing over here. It's actually, it flexes a little bit, but it's not as bad as I thought it was. I thought it was completely loose down in here, but I am kind of tempted to see what do we have up in here, because I can put my fingers in there. I feel not good things breaking off, and that has me a little worried. So I may cut this a little wide just so I can see what's in there and then patch it back up. I don't think that's an awful idea, because if we look in here, like, we can just tell it's not super great. This is metal. I didn't know how this was butted up behind the seam sealer, so good to see that it's metal. Some of these things like this here, if we get it cleaned out, we don't necessarily need to patch it, since we are going to use seam sealer. I don't want to go crazy and do things that take a lot of time and don't make a lot of sense, so we will see. That being said, I don't want to be lazy either. I want to make this thing pretty nice. I don't want to put carpet in here and just, you know, have regrets. So we'll see how we're going to proceed with that. So this probably seam sealer. This, again, we'll see how nice we can get that, but this is going to get all replaced like the other side. This is where the real work kind of comes on this thing. I knew it was bad up here. I didn't know how bad. This whole thing, like across to here basically and over, needs to come out, and then it needs to, similar to back here, it needs to be folded up and joined with the outer body parts. So I think I'm going to cut that all out cleanly. This looks like it moves a little bit too. That's, you know, the further I go, the more concerned I get. And then this is all soft. Oh man, that's worse than I thought it was. That's real bad actually. So this all needs to make its way on out of there. Stop pushing on that before I lose some fingers, but we got to get a good square of this out and we'll replace it. I think we have the metal to do so. My only question is welding into this is probably not going to happen. So we'll have to figure out how we're going to get that all sorted. Just a bunch of junk up in here. Coating and sealant and stuff. Curious what's under this guy. Can't even get it out. But this whole piece is basically rotten. We'll see what the rest of it looks like. Maybe I can, you know, overlap and weld it, but first thoughts are probably not. I mean, this is metal. It's not like fiberglass. It looks kind of fiberglass, but it is metal up in there, so maybe I'll be able to make something happen. But based on the other side, I am not feeling too hopeful. So we'll see when we get this all cleared out and cleaned up, figure out a way to seal that all out, and yeah, that's that. So we're probably going to do that on a separate video, because this video is getting pretty long already. I'm already editing it as I'm going. So for that side, I think we're just going to, oh, I don't know. I wanted to seam seal it up all at once. So I want to make more progress. So I'll be back with you guys once I figure out what I'm going to do. Well guys, we're gonna have a nice weekend out, so I decided to just progress with this side and try and get this all in the video for Monday. This part back here is a little nasty. There's a bunch of crap up in there, so decided to cut that out. Easy patch there. This side is considerably worse than the other side, I would say, and this gives quite a bit. So we're gonna have to reinforce that from the bottom, I think. And yeah, this thing is not fun to get out. I'm kind of regretting cutting it. I think we're going to leave the other side and just seal it up real good. I'll probably have to grind out what I can and call that as good as we can. And the big one, that's a big hole. But, you know, we look at this, we do enough overlap, good as new. I mean, not really, but it's not too far off. So we just got to patch some of the side down here. You can see we got some holes. And patch some of that and butt it up. I don't think that's really going to be that bad. So that'll get us through most of the floors. And then as we can see really well over here, got some big holes in the footwells. Kind of hard to see there, but so those will be next. That's not going to happen in this video. I'm going to get the rest of these patched up. We'll get them all seam sealed, get the floor all painted, and looking kind of uniform. So there we go, guys. I'm going to work this one out and patch this like I did the other side, which will be fun because there's not much good metal there. So more booger welds on the way. And same with down here and over there. There's so much rust down in there. I don't know how well you can see. Yeah. That's not super ideal, and you can see like that whole thing moves. We're gonna have to reinforce that somehow. In an ideal world, we tackle it from the other side and cut the whole bottom out and just clean it all up maybe sometime later, but that's not what we're going to do for in here. Just going to try and figure it out, and maybe we reinforce this somehow with the existing floors that are here too. We'll have to explore that. We'll see what our options are. There are options, luckily, so not ideal, but it is what it is. Alright guys, so doing some more off-camera work. Vacuum some of that out. I am ready to make patch panels, but I just kept wire wheeling and I just keep finding areas that aren't great, so I just kept going. You see I have some patches to make here. Here is where the bolt was for the seat. That's one I don't have to extract, which is kind of nice, but it's kind of junk too. So it has me a little concerned about that side. That side was not as bad, but the area that is built up kind of like right there, that was here, ended up going all the way through that seat support. So that's a little concerning to me. I think I'm going to run back over to that side and really address some of those spots and see if I can get through in any spots. If I can, I'm going to have to cut those out and patch those up. I don't want to half-ass this, basically. So I'm going to be ending this video short, or not short, but here, just because I want to get this out for you guys on Monday. But just going up here, you know, I got another little spot here that I gotta patch or do something with that had a screw hole for the carpet. That's in a weird spot. I don't really know what I'm gonna do there. I may just, I don't know. I don't want to just seal it up, but you can see this floor hole has gotten bigger. It's like the whole thing. There's some pretty considerable issues down here. Those I'm going to cut out. I'm just going to cut the whole thing out and I'm going to patch it, and then we'll put the floor piece in. There's just, I don't know how well you can see in there, there's just so much rust in there, and I don't feel comfortable just covering that up. So I'm going to cut probably here all the way down. We'll patch it up, and yeah, we'll clear it out while we're in there. We'll do some rust reformer in there so it doesn't get worse, and we'll just clear it out, and hopefully maybe we'll get a probe down in there and kind of see what it's like down here. The whole thing's just not in great shape, and I still got to address this whole thing. I have a little 90-degree angle iron that I can fix that with, but I want to crawl under there and see what it all looks like. So I think next is going to be cutting this out, putting just a flat piece in there. We don't have to do too much. I need to pull these guys out and just make sure I'm not missing anything. Also, rubberized coating we got to get rid of. It gets mostly gone with the wire wheel, but it starts flicking rubber and crap everywhere because it's burning up. So dry ice apparently will remove that, and this stuff, that stuff there. I have a lot over there. some here on the tunnel. I just need to clean that up. I guess like that stuff I don't really care about. That's not a spot that's gonna rust. I really just need to use the POR in these areas to keep it nice. So that's where I think we're gonna leave off, guys. Next video, we're gonna cut this out, get this patch. We will get these guys patched, and also there. I got a little work to do up in here, but not too bad. So we'll also reinforce this guy as well. Our passenger doesn't need to be bumping up and down, no more than usual at least. So that one, these ones, the big one, and we will readdress that one. So no patches really. I mean, we got the one in, no patches, no seam sealer and such. Want to take my time, want to get this done right, and or at least as right as I can do it, and make sure things look good. So there we have it, guys. I'm going to cut this episode right now. I just want to thank you guys for watching, and look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. I look forward to getting these patches in, and I just look forward to making this thing a nicer car. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.